a guy to a 10-year contract. John Carlos Stanton for the Yankees was a horrible contract in Miami. It's slightly better in New York, but it's a terrible contract. Robinson Cano, 10 years. He's already in trouble. You got like 8 years left. NBA, you can get trapped by horrible contracts. But in football, you really can't. I mean, even Tom Brady could be cut tomorrow. You take a little cap hit for a year. But in the NFL, you rarely get trapped with a terrible contract. This is why the NFL is the sport of hope. It has always been the sport of hope. In the NBA, if you don't have stars and you have bad contracts, you're done. 7 years, bye-bye. In baseball, don't have the money, not big revenue, 2 bad contracts, bye-bye, you're done. NFL, you can cut anybody and start over. You can replace 40% of your roster year for year and your coaching staff completely and your GM. It's the sport of hope. There is one NFL team, though, that is trapped. It's the Raiders. John Gruden, 10 years, $100 million. This is the poorest NFL franchise it is in terms of revenue. They cannot boot him after a year, pay him $90 million, and then go pay another $5 for another guy. They can't even pay top dollar for coordinators now. They are trapped. I don't know if it's going to work, but they don't have any options. It has to work. Read the tea leaves. Many people believe they passed on Khalil Mack because they couldn't afford him. Now they're looking to trade Amari Cooper. They don't know where they're playing next year. Vegas, eventually, we are pretty sure, they are the rare NFL team. And it all comes down to this. Why are they trapped? Because sports does something that is fascinating. Pro sports are overwhelmingly run, driven, played by men. And when you lose, it saps you of your dignity. This was the team that was the team of the decade in the 70s and 80s. Then 10 to 15 years of losing. Do you think Bob Kraft would ever give Belichick a 10-year deal? Oh, God, no. But the poorest franchise would? You think Jerry Jones has given anybody a 10-year deal? Stan Kroenke? No. This is what we see time and time again from people with low self-esteem in sports. The Buffalo Bills. The quarterback has a good September. Let's sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. A huge deal. Oakland Raiders, John Gruden. I remember Gruden. A huge 10-year deal. I mean, Baker Mayfield right now has more interceptions than touchdowns, 55% completion rate, 72 quarterback rating, getting outplayed by Sam Darnold, and they'd sign him to a 10-year contract right now in Cleveland. He's average so far. Sports for men in pro sports. It is remarkable how desperation creeps in. The best organizations let the top players go, are reluctant to sign even great players and coaches to long deals. Buffalo, Ryan Fitzpatrick had a good September. Let's give him a lifetime contract. John Gruden's been out of the sport 10 years. Let's sign him forever. Man, it's not hard to figure out. There are 4 or 5 organizations in pro sports in America, Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, New York Mets, LA Clippers, that I've watched my entire life make moves out of desperation, a lack of self-esteem, lose utter confidence. And the Raiders used to be, quote, commitment to excellence. But they are trapped, and it rarely happens in the NFL. And it happens a lot in the NBA and regularly in baseball. Sometimes I imagine in hockey, but in the NFL, it almost never happens. None. At least the Bills could eventually get rid of Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is amazing. This is utterly amazing. You are watching the worst team in the league, giving players away. Report now that Amari Cooper's on the trading block. It has to work. They have no options. There is no way out here. It's staggering what desperation does and losing does to otherwise seemingly very smart, successful men. Sap some of their dignity, lose all common sense. Joy Taylor with the news.